Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the best shooting guards in NBA 2K22 MyTEAM on a tier list. Before we hop into this video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 6,000 subscriber mark on the channel. Upload every single day. Channel has been growing like crazy recently, and I really do appreciate all the recent support on the videos. Yeah. One thing to keep in mind, I made this list myself. It's possible that I may have missed a card or two, and honestly, I didn't want to put 50 cards on this list. I'm trying to limit to around that 35-ish mark because I feel like that gives for around a 25 to 30 minute video, which I think is the good length for these tier lists. I don't really want these videos to be an hour long, so I don't have quite as many cards on this list as you may want. So there might be a couple guys missing. Feel free to leave a comment down below, and I'll let you know what I think of those cards if they're not on there. But I tried to get as complete of a list as possible of the truly best shooting guards in my team. The other thing to consider, pretty much really basically all these cards at this point are very, very good cards. Like, they all can shoot, they can all defend, they can all slash. Most of them have good sigs. Like, that's the thing to remember as well with these cards, is there are so many good shooting guards and so many good cards in the game at this point. I have to be very nitpicky. So you're going to see cards in C and D tier that are still solid cards. There's just so many good cards at this point in the year, so keep that in mind as well. But without further ado, let's hop right into it and start off with Albert King, who I think slots into the C tier. While he is a great card in a lot of ways, he is only 6'6", so he doesn't have incredible size. 27 hops, which is an incredible amount, but he's got good slashing badges. Shooting badges are mediocre, which is a bit annoying, but he does have most of the gold ones you want. Kadad, Chef. Playmaking badges, same thing. Not incredible, but quick first step, quick chain, ankle breaker is good. Defensive badges are elite, and he's got great defensive stats as well, especially on the perimeter, but even on the interior, solid, especially with that rim protector and post lockdown added. Decent shooter as well. He's got a solid but not elite release. Ray Allen release is good, but for whatever reason with the Steph Curry upper, I don't love this release on him. It's not great, but it is fast and it's pretty easy to green, so it's not bad either. Quick dribble style, pro size up is good, pro escape not great, pro 5 behind the back is good, but not also not great. He's just not an elite card, honestly. Not elite shooting badges, not elite playmaking badges, and while he is a really good defender, he's a bit undersized and not an incredibly elite dominant shooter either. He's good, but he just has too many flaws to be higher up than this. I think Wiggs slots into the B tier, maybe even the low A tier. Wiggins is a pretty darn good card. He's got good size at 6'8", a nice long wingspan, hot spots whenever, 34 hops, nice well-rounded Hall of Fame badges, elite all-around defender. He's a great guy, great speed, great shooting, and great dunking. Now this is an A tier card. Really good jumper as well. Quick dribble style. The Ray Frost size up is mediocre, but the Kobe escape is good. Full court sigs aren't great, but this is a pretty darn good card. I think he deserves to be in the A tier, even with how many good shooting guards there are. Wiggins is a super good card for sure. Anthony Edwards, I know he's an invincible, and people are going to give me crap for this one probably, but I'm going to put him in the B tier for a couple of reasons. One, he's only 6'5". That's not amazing. Stats and badges admittedly are amazing. Obviously, as an invincible card, those are great, but the jump shot is not great. Jump shot getting on very quick is not bad, but it's not elite at this point in the year. Quick dribble style is good. The Mitchell size up is okay. Kobe escape is also solid, and protrusion legs is solid, but his sigs aren't elite. His jumper isn't elite, and he doesn't have great size at only 6'5". Those are some relatively significant flaws compared to some of the cards in the S and A tier. So for me, I think Ant goes in the B tier. Would it be disrespectful to put Carmelo in D tier? On current gen, I really do believe he's one of the worst cards on this list, and I might be exaggerating just a little bit, but I think I'm going to put him in D tier, to be completely honest. Only going to be a couple guys in D tier, and like I said, all these cards are good. Even Carmelo in D tier is a good card. He is 6'8", so he's got great size, which is nice, but 29 hops, mostly shooting badges, some good playmaking badges as well. He's an acceptable defender. He's an acceptable slasher as well, pretty decent, but the big problem that I have with this card, shifty dribble style isn't great. The Carmelo size up sucks. He does have the Pippen behind the back, which is great, but his release, while relatively easy to green, he steps in from corners, which is really annoying, and he's just not an elite shot creator whatsoever. Really good catch and shoot shooter, but he's stepping in from the corners and even from hashes and shooting long twos is really annoying. And Carmelo, just for whatever reason, always on current gen, is just not a good card in my team. So that's the thing to keep in mind. He's definitely better in next gen. And honestly, I'm disrespecting him by putting him in the D tier. He's still a good enough card. I'm going to put him in the C tier, but he's just not elite anymore, unfortunately. Cedric Maxwell, I think, does go A tier because of his release. I really think that's what saves the card. And the fact that he's 6'8", which is great. Defensive badges are very solid. No half chase, down artist interceptor, or rim protector though. Handles today's quick first step are great. No half shooting badges besides corner specialists that are key badges, and that's a bit annoying, but the defensive stats are great. He's got elite slashing, elite shoot, elite athleticism, and an 88 shot 3, which is super good. Elite slasher as well. Why in the world is it not showing his jump shot? I can't see his jump shot, but did they just change the way they have this set up? I'm so okay, well, I don't know why this page for some reason is set up in a different way, but he's got jump shot 3 on very quick, which is a great jump shot. Quick dribble style as well. I don't know why everything just flipped. I'm so confused. Everything's flipped the way it typically is, and I don't know why that is. But point being, he's got base 3 on very quick. His SIG's quick dribble style, decent size up with the pro size up. So he moves really, really solidly, and he's got an elite jump shot as well as elite size and really, really good defense and slashing. And he's a great card still, so I do think he still goes in the A tier. Chris Mullen is solid as well, but not great. I'm hoping that the animation page will fix itself. Mullen's 6'7", so he's got acceptable size, mostly shooting badges, handles today's quick first step, and some good defensive badges as well. Solid perimeter defender. He's a great shooter, decent dunker, has decent safe dunks. Quick dribble style. I don't know what in the world happened here. Why has everything inverted? I'm so confused, but I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. So whatever whatever the case may be, he's got jump shot 22 on very quick. It's left-handed, smooth, pretty easy to green, not crazy fast, but not bad. Pippin behind the back. Curry, Sigs in the half court are good, but he's just not elite anymore. Not an elite enough total badges count, I would say, is one of the things that kind of holds the card back. So for me, I think he goes B tier at this point. This is really going to bother me. I think if this doesn't fix itself, I don't know why this is an issue. It's really going to annoy me, but it is what it is. I'll try my best to explain through it still. 6'7" with a 6'9" wingspan on DeMar, who I did put in the A tier. DeMar is one of the best budget, if not the best value shooting guard in the game. Hotspots from everywhere. 37 hops include blinders, catch and shoot, chef, deadeye, limitless spot up, sniper, elite playmaking badges, and elite defensive badges. Really great slasher. He's got great speed. All around stats are really, really good. He's got the same release and dribble SIGs as Tracy McGrady, and really he gives you about 95% of what Tracy McGrady gives you in terms of his SIGs, jump shot, movement, defense, all those things. Very, very close to Invincible Tracy McGrady, and definitely one of the better shooting guards in the game. Really, really good card for sure. Jonathan Petrovich goes in the C tier because of his lack of elite defense, I guess I would say, at only 6'5". Badge wise, he is solid, but only 2 Hall of Fame defensive badges. Shooting badges obviously are incredible, and he's an amazing shooter, but unfortunately it didn't fix itself. Thank you. I don't know why this was glitched, but quick dribble style, Donovan Mitchell, size up is pretty good. Pro size up, escape not great, and pin behind the back is very good. Jump shot 3 on very quick is a great jumper, obviously an elite jump shot, just like I was talking about with Cedric Maxwell, and that does really help him to be an elite offensive card with that elite release, decent-ish movement, and elite shooting badges as well, some good playmaking badges. But he's not a good enough defender to be any higher than C tier in my personal opinion. Not an amazing card at this point in the game. George Miken is really, his biggest value is in his size. Stats and badge wise, he's not bad, but he isn't, I mean, when you look at the card on paper compared to like invincible cards, he's not incredible, but he does have good versatility. Solid all-around defender, decent speed, good dunker, solid shooter, catch, corner, sniper, quick first step, but then a bunch of good finishing and interior as well as defensive badges. Jump shot 4 on very quick is a solid jumper. Shifty dribble style, pro size up, KD escape, mediocre full court dribble 6. His SIGs in general are kind of mediocre, but they're not terrible, although at 6'10", he's not going to move well with those SIGs. Really, his height is one of his most valuable attributes, and is why I think he goes pretty high up in C tier, probably the highest card in C tier so far. So definitely still a very solid card for sure. Gerald Wallace, I think you could actually make an argument that he's borderline A tier, but we have so many good shooting guards coming up that I'm going to put him toward high B tier. 6'7" with a 6'10" wingspan, in my opinion, the best Galaxy Opal shooting guard in the game. Fast twitch, limitless takeoff, posterizers, 4 great shooting badges, some really good playmaking badges as well, and elite defense, 92 plus on every defensive stat, 95 plus on most of the ones that matter, 96 speed excel, 93 shot 3, and a 95 driving dunk. A nice fast jumper, jump shot 99. It's very, very quick, which is good, hard to contest. Quick dribble style, Kyrie size, and pin behind the back are 3 elite dribble SIGs. The pro escape is his one SIG that I'm not a big fan of, but quick drops off 1 is one of, if not the best safe dunks in the game as well. He's got great size. He's a really, really good card. Really, the only reason that I don't have him A tier is I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why I don't have him A tier. I think he's better than Cedric Maxwell. He's going A tier. Really good card for sure. Glenn Rice is one of the worst cards on this list, legitimately. He is not good. At this point of the year, and obviously when you look at the stats and the badges, he's still got 90 plus on most things. Defenses look pretty good. Badges are solid all the way around, but he doesn't have elite defensive badges across the board, nor does he have elite defensive stats. Not elite speed, especially for a guy his size. And jump shot 98 only being on quick, not having very quick dribble, a very quick release, or very good dribble STIGs at this point in the year. He has some of the most flaws, if not the most flaws of any card on this list, and I think he's a pretty easy D tier candidate for me. Jaylen Brown is another guy who's just solid but not amazing. Comes with what, a 6'6" height, 6'11" wingspan, so acceptable but not great size, good slashing, great shooting badges, great playmaking badges, and really good defensive badges. So well-rounded on the stats and the badge end, which is great. Stats are also very good. Jump shot 75 on very quick is not an elite release in terms of its speed, but it is very easy to green, which is good. Quick dribble style, Mitchell size up is good. Levine escape, not great, and the pro 2 between the legs gives him 1 good full court dribble STIG. Stats and badges on this card are great. Animations, not quite Not quite so much, but I do think he's still probably good enough that I should move him into the B tier. He is a solid card for sure. Jimmy Buckets, same thing as a guy like as a guy like Jaylen Brown, in that he's got elite all-around stats in terms of shooting, slashing, defense, and athleticism. Badges, same thing, very complete in those areas. Great jump shot, 22 on very quick. He's a very solid, I wouldn't say great, but very good jump shot. But then again, shifty dribble style, mediocre half-court sigs. Pippin behind the back is great, but besides that, his sigs aren't great, and that holds him back very similarly to Jaylen Brown, where his animations don't quite match the stats and badges, and puts him as another B-tier guy. Joe Johnson is going to be yet another B-tier guy, I would say. 6'7" with a 6'9" wingspan, so he's got acceptable size. Another card with pretty well-rounded badges, elite shooting badges, really good stats. Jump shot is solid, 38 on very quick. Isn't a top jumper, but it's definitely smooth. Quick dribble style, Kemba size up is good. Kemba escape, not quite as big of a fan. His full court dribble sigs are not good. So again, kind of like the last couple guys. Really solid stats all the way around. Not quite as good, I would say, stat and badge-wise in terms of his completeness compared to Jaylen Brown and Jimmy. He's got a great release, but his movement isn't quite good enough and doesn't quite get him to that top level. We're going to have a lot of B-tier guys. It's kind of what I'm noticing in this video, I feel like, because John Havlicek is another one of those guys. 2K21, John Havlicek was one of the best cards in the game for a very long time. Unfortunately, he hasn't been quite that good in 22, but 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. While undersized, he has elite shooting and elite defensive badges. His defensive stats are also incredible. Half handles for days, quick first step, quick chain, hyperdrive, and ankle breaker are some good playmaking badges. He's a good dunker as well, and he's got jump shot 90 and I'm very quick, which I am still a big fan of. Quick dribble style, Mitchell size up, Kobe escape, and Pippen behind the back gives him pretty darn good sigs and the best safe dunk in the game with those quick drops off one. Despite his lack of size, everything else about the card is great, and that is why he's still a B-tier type of guy. Dr. J is another one of those solid but not elite cards that we're putting in that C tier. He's got acceptable size. He's got pretty good all the way around badges. Stats may not jump off the page except for maybe his dunking and good athleticism, but they're definitely not bad either. Rudy Gay release on quick, while not on very quick, Rudy Gay release is still pretty good. And then the quick dribble style with kind of mediocre sigs, great behind the back, decent escape, but a bad size up. And he's just another guy who's kind of there. He's not bad, but he's not great. He's going to be able to hold it down solidly, but not quite to that elite level. Kawhi, on the other hand, is at that elite level, one of, if not the best shooting guards in the game for his role. I mean, he is incredible. The best 3-and-D card in the game, in my personal opinion. He's got an elite player build, elite length, invincible stats and badges, incredible defender. Jump shot is Ray Allen release with release 102 upper on very quick. And I will say this is the exception to the me not loving the Ray Allen release. For whatever reason, with release 102 upper, Kawhi is uncontestable besides lightlease, and it makes his release very, very hard to stop. It's also incredibly smooth and easy to green, as well as the quick dribble style. Sigs are not amazing besides the Pippen behind the back and the quick dribble style, but he is so elite as a catch and shoot player and as a defender that it almost doesn't matter. He's definitively S tier, pretty easily S tier in my opinion, and an amazing, amazing card for sure. Kelly Oubre is going C tier because his jump shot isn't elite. That's really my biggest thing with him. Another card who doesn't have an elite jumper and doesn't have an elite sig. Stats and badge wise is pretty solid all the way around, kind of like most of the cards in this list, but the jumper is not elite. The sigs, same thing, doesn't have a great escape, doesn't have a great size up, and the jumper is a little bit on the slower end compared to most of the other jumpers on this list, and that's enough to hold him down and put him in the C tier. I think that this is getting tough. I'm not sure if Klay Thompson is A or S, because I know there's what, 1, 2, I think he's A tier. I think we got 4 guys in here that I'm going to put over Klay Thompson. And the reason I say that is because his jumper isn't absolutely incredible. It's not bad, but Invincible Klay, 6'6" to 6'9" wingspan is pretty average size. Invincible stats and badges are very, very good, of course. But Klay release on very quick is not the best release on very quick, but it is smooth. Quick dribble style, Jamal size up, Kobe escape gives him pretty decent sigs. Pro 2 between the legs as well. Another card who doesn't have the best sigs, but has decent enough sigs. And I mean, he's a good card. Don't get it twisted. He's just not quite the best. And I think the S tier is really reserved for those best guys, and I think there's only about 5 of those in the game right now, and for me, I don't think Klay Thompson is one of them. Neither is Kobe Bryant, as much as it pains me to say it. I love the Black Mamba, but he is not a top 5 card in the game. Still an invincible and still an elite card with pretty good size, elite all-around badges, of course. Stats are also perfect. Kobe release on very quick is pretty easy to contest, but it is very fast and smooth and easy to green. The problem with this card, in all honesty, bad full court dribble sigs and shifty dribble style. Those are easily his 2 biggest flaws, and those are the things that prevent him from being S tier. If he had quick and good full court dribble sigs, he would probably be an S tier guy, but for me, he's just not quite there, and I think he goes in the A tier instead. Kyle Korver, I guess I will throw him in the C tier. The jumper on Kyle Korver is a tiny bit baited. It's not slow, but it's just really easy to contest for whatever reason. Quick dribble style, Mike B size up is okay. Tray escape is amazing, which is great. And the pippin behind the back, he's got pretty darn good sigs. But the kind of baited release, the lack of elite size, although his size is pretty good. Badges are solid, especially the shooting badges, but the playmaking and defense aren't bad either. And he's got a bit of slashing ability. The jumper's just baited on him for whatever reason, and I don't feel like he's a great card. Kind of like a guy like Kelly Oubre. Pretty decent card. He's got better sigs than Oubre, but the jumper holds him back a bit. Probably the best card in C tier, but I still do think he's a C tier guy for me personally. Malik Sealy is yet another one of those A tier guys. He's 6'8", so he's got really solid size at the shooting guard position. Moves pretty well. Ray Allen based on his jumper. Really complete defensive card, but also shooting, playmaking, and finishing. Great stats all the way around. Ray Allen release on very quick is pretty good. Quick dribble style, penny size up, Kobe escape, and pippin behind the back gives him pretty darn solid sigs as well. Some of the better sigs we've seen. Not amazing, but definitely pretty solid. And he's another very solid card that does deserve to go in the A tier, but not quite in the S tier. And as y'all can see, I only have one S tier guy, and we got about 8 or 9. No, we got 10 guys left on this list. So we're going to be putting 4 of those guys in S tier. But I can tell you this, Marquis Johnson is definitely not one of the 4. One of the worst cards on this list. He's not horrible, but really none of these cards are horrible. Unfortunately, he's just not an elite shooter. His badges, while good, are not insane. And jump shot down very quick is not a jumper I personally am a big fan of, and his sigs are some of the worst, if not the worst, of any card on this list. So bad sigs, I'm not a huge fan of his jumper, and he doesn't have elite badges or incredible stats. Good card, don't get it wrong. I do still think he's better than Glenn Rice, but every card on this list is good. He's just not good enough. I don't think he cuts it, and he goes down in the D tier. Michael Finley going in the S tier. Some people may disagree with me, but I think that his dribble sigs are really, really huge for having a primary ball handler, and Finley can give you that. Also has elite shooting badges, elite playmaking badges, and good defensive badges. Great stats all the way around on him. John Wall release on very quick is smooth and easy to green. Not the fastest, but definitely not slow release. And with his sigs, quick dribble style, D-Rose size up, Trae Young escape, and pippin behind the back, he has arguably the best possible dribble sigs in my team, which help him to be able to get open super easily. Also the quick drops off one, which is that best safe dunk to have, and he is just an absolutely incredible card. Finley offensively is absolutely elite and easily S tier. And we have back-to-back S tiers, in fact, with Michael Jordan as well. Invincible MJ, one of the best cards in the game. I mean, easily maybe the best card in the game on current gen. Basically perfect stats, basically perfect badges, has the uncontestable MJ jumper that I've talked about a million times, but also the quick dribble style, Kyrie size up, Trae escape, and pippin behind the back, just like with Finley. Basically perfect sigs. The Kyrie size up, not quite as good as the D-Rose size up, but his uncontestable elite release makes up for it and makes him one of the best cards in the game, period. Pascal Siakam, great size for the shooting guard position and a super solid defender at 6'9" with a nice wingspan, 33 hops, but mostly finishing hops, great defensive hops as well, but the playmaking isn't quite there, and he doesn't have the elite shooting badges besides blinders and catch and shoot that you'd like to see. Not the greatest of speed either, decent shooter and decent dunker as well. He's got a good release. Jump shot 75, which, like I talked about with Jaylen Brown, is smooth and easy to green, but it's not elite in speed, and his sigs are also not elite at all. Great defender, but unfortunately just doesn't quite do enough offensively for me to put him higher than the B tier. And honestly, that goes the same for Paul George. I think he's in a very similar boat to Siakam. They're both 6'9", they're both great defenders, and they both have other flaws. Like Paul George's biggest flaw, in all honesty, is honestly the fact of the matter that his jumper's only on quick, and the PG release on quick is definitely not elite compared to the PG release on very quick. And similarly to Siakam, not elite dribble sigs either on this Paul George card. Unfortunately, this specific Paul George, the zero gravity Paul George, slides into the B tier, but I will say this Paul George, I do think he still squeaks just at the very end of the S tier into that S tier. PG-13, Invincible, coming in at S still. 6 out of the 6 level wingspan, so he's still got that elite size, but now he has perfect badges basically, or very close to perfect badges, basically perfect stats as well. The PG release on very quick, which is smoother and faster. Quick dribble style as well with the pippin behind the back gives him better sigs, even though the rest of his half-court sigs aren't amazing. He's another one of the elite 3-and-D guys with elite speed, with elite stats and everything really, but also elite size, which is a big thing for him. His size, in addition to being an invincible, having a smooth release, and being an elite defender with acceptable sigs as well, is enough for me to put him in the S tier. Richard Jefferson. I almost am tempted to put Richard Jefferson in the B tier, but I'm not going to do it. I will say, very, very good card. He was a great free reward for Season 5, or Season 6, I mean. Does have great all-around stats, great all-around badges as well. Very, very versatile and complete card. Jumper is very fast, but unfortunately, I feel like it gets contested really pretty easily, which is weird because of how fast it is. But quick dribble style and Francis size up are good. Pro size escape, not great, and pippin behind the back is very good. So he's got a bit of playmaking ability. The Francis size up is probably a top 3 sides up in the game, and the quick dribble style with Pippen behind the back as well are elite SIGs. The escape kind of hurts his playmaking a little, as well as for whatever reason the fact that his jumper seems pretty easy to contest, but definitely still a very good card, an elite free option, and an A tier guy still. Rudy Gay is going to slot into that A tier as well, right next to DeMar DeRozan at the top of A tier. These are probably the 2 best shooting guards in A tier in my opinion. They've got great speed. He's also a great shooter, an elite dunker, and an elite all-around defender. Has great defensive badges, elite shooting badges, and great playmaking. Another very versatile card. He's got elite size at 6'8" with a great player build and a very long wingspan. Rudy release on very quick is an elite release as well. And the quick dribble style and the Pippen behind the back are enough, despite the rest of his SIGs being mediocre, for him to be an elite level shooting guard option because of his size, his defense, and his elite jump shot. The rest of his SIGs not being amazing hurts a bit and prevents him from being S tier, but still a great card for sure. Pippen, I'm going to put right with the other invincibles in A tier, Clay and Kobe. He's another card that just has enough flaws, despite being 6'8" and having great size, great stats, great badges, all that as an invincible. The jumper is a tiny bit on the slow side, kind of like a guy like Kelly Oubre, Kyle Korver, Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam, those guys. It's not the best jumper, and unfortunately Anthony Edwards as well. That hurts him a bit, but he is an incredible defender. He's got acceptable SIGs, and he's got elite size. So for me, he separates himself from a lot of those guys. So I have down to the B tier, being an invincible card and also having elite size and elite defense. So great card. Just goes A tier for me personally. And then we're going to throw Tmac up in S tier as the last of the 5 best shooting guards in the game, my personal opinion. I clicked on the wrong Tmac, but invincible Tmac has amazing size as well at 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan. What he has going for him over guys like Scottie Pippen is a faster release and slightly better dribble SIGs with the quick dribble style, Tmac size up, and Kobe escape. Poor full court dribble SIGs, but I don't feel like that's as crucial as the half court SIGs, and he definitely does win out in the half court SIGs as well as in the jump shot compared to guys like Pippen. They have very similar size, very similar stats and badges, obviously as invincibles, but I think Tmac takes the cake just by a tiny bit and goes into the S tier as our final S tier shooting guard. So this is my list right now of the best shooting guards in my team. Feel free to let me know what you think of my list down in the comment section down below. Who do you think I ranked too high? Who do you think I ranked too low? And who did I leave off this list that you'd like to know my thoughts on? Yeah, so hopefully y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.